In the era of SUVs, pickups, and bulky EVs, it seems like we often neglect the benefits of a classic passenger car design. Whether it's about sedans, hatchbacks, or sports coupes, we often forget how easy it is to live with these cars. Cheap to run, easy to drive, relatively simple, and with superior driving experience over the aforementioned vehicles, they remind us that, just a few decades ago, things were much simpler in the automotive world. That's why we dedicate this video to them, conventionally designed vehicles. Even though not as popular as SUVs, for example, the offer of classic passenger cars is still quite impressive, with amazing models you can get for relatively reasonable sums. Stay with us and take a look at the 10 best cars you'll want in 2024. The Prius is arguably one of the most important cars in automotive history, a model that changed the paradigm and introduced us to the world of electrification. 27 years after its initial launch, it's still the ultimate hybrid car, a vehicle that's simple, super efficient, and super reliable. But the new generation, which was introduced last year, is much more than that. The Prius is not a boring, underperforming hybrid anymore. It is attractive, fun to drive, and quite engaging. Besides the ability to achieve 56 miles per gallon, the fifth generation also offers way more than its predecessor, with 194 ponies that come from the gasoline-electric synergy. Moreover, this Prius is even available with all-wheel drive, which makes it an excellent all-season choice for all those who appreciate Toyota's impeccable engineering. The Prius is also a competent family car with decent passenger and cargo space and a pretty good interior quality. Not to mention that even the most basic variants, which start under $30,000, are pretty generous with standard equipment, especially when it comes to safety and drive assistance features. No matter the badge you go with, you won't go wrong, because the two models are pretty much the same. They are both quintessential sports cars that, in today's world, care only about speed and acceleration, brings back to the basics. This is what a sports car should be. It doesn't need tons of power. 228 horses are plenty enough in this case, because this small and attractive coupe features an impressive chassis design with excellent balance and torsional rigidity. It brings driving joy like no other under $30K car on today's market. Rear-wheel drive, manual transmission, and the sense of going pretty much completely analog are everything a sports enthusiast would ever need, and the BRZ and GR86 deliver that seamlessly. If you still wonder which one you should choose, our answer is go with the best offer you get from dealers, because the two models are practically the same. There are only a couple of differences that make us lean a little bit towards Subaru's version, mainly because that one comes with aluminum front knuckles, hollow front sway bar, and a little bit better rear sway bar mounts. Things are pretty simple here, as the Camry is always an excellent choice. Even the 2024 model has so many great things to offer, despite being the final model year of the current generation. It is spacious, comfortable, and well-built, while the broad range of simple and super reliable powertrain options is definitely a plus for many potential buyers. Whether you pick the gas or hybrid version, you won't go wrong, not even with the base inline-4 unit. Another major reason why the Camry has made it to our top 10 list is the optional V6. The good old 3.5-liter V6 is an endangered species in today's world of downsizing, turbocharging, and electrification. This is probably your last chance to get one of these, because the upcoming generation won't be offered with this old-school smooth 6-cylinder. Besides the engine, the 2024 model offers other qualities that are typically associated with the Camry, including a generous offer of standard equipment and a pretty wide range of trim levels and equipment groups. Best of all, it is still quite affordable, as the price starts at just over $27,000. The entry-level version of Lucid Air is the only electric vehicle on our list, and that's because it's probably the only one that successfully solves the main EV issues that consumers are facing today. Of course, we're talking about the range and charging. With a starting price of around $78,000, this isn't the cheapest EV, but it is the only one that can make over 400 miles on a single charge. And when it comes to charging, this is the closest you can currently get to the convenience of refueling a typical gas-powered car. The Lucid Air Pure charges quickly. With a DC charger, you can add 300 miles in about 20 minutes, which puts it way ahead of most competitors. With a 430 horsepower electric motor mounted on the rear axle, the Lucid Air Pure is also pretty engaging to drive, but its quality exceeds typical EV features such as range and acceleration. This is a genuinely well-designed car, a luxury vehicle with a stylish and well-built interior full of advanced tech features. It is spacious, comfortable, and with a decently sized cargo area, practically without any major flaw that typically comes with EVs. If you're looking for a high-performance sedan, forget about the Germans. This is the one. It is one of the most engaging sedans on today's market, characterized by super sharp handling and impressive overall performance. Of course, one of the reasons for such an impressive performance is the twin-turbo 3.6-liter V6 engine, which puts out 472 horsepower and 455 pound-feet of torque. It takes this sedan from 0 to 60 in about 4 seconds, while we particularly like the exhaust note. Simply said, this is a genuine driver's car for obvious reasons. Oh, and we almost forgot to mention one of the most important ones, the manual. Although introduced just 2 years ago, the CT4V Blackwing designers had old-school driving enthusiasts in mind and offered it with a 6-speed manual. For those who prefer convenience over engagement, a 10-speed automatic is available too. As for the price, this high-performance sedan starts at around $62,000. $70,000 for a mid-engine sports car that can hit 60 in about 3 seconds? Yes, the Chevy Corvette C8 is a bargain in our humble opinion. We think it's the best sports car the American car industry has ever made, especially if you take into account that it costs just a fraction what you would typically pay for exotic European competitors. For just $70,000, you get a mid-engine car with 490 horsepower that handles pretty well but remains comfortable at the same time. Chevy engineers managed to keep the Corvette civilized and practical for everyday use. For a couple of thousand extra, you can also get the so-called Z51 package, which brings upgraded exhaust, 5 more horsepower, a limited-slip rear differential, and upgraded brakes. Definitely something worth paying extra for. For all these decades, the GTI has never lost its magic. Although pretty ordinary looking at first sight, this compact hatchback will put a smile on your face for several reasons. Genuine GTI features are there, of course, starting from the legendary upholstery and a shifter. Speaking of the shifter, a 6-speed manual or 7-speed dual clutch, it's up to your preference because both work great. The engine, of course, is the 2.0-liter Turbo 4 with 241 horsepower and 273 pound-feet of torque, capable of many great things, including 0 to 60 in about 5.7 seconds. But the strong performance is just one side of the GTI's multifaceted nature. At the same time, this is a classic compact hatchback, perfectly sized for a small family. Decent cargo space is also there, while the compact exterior dimensions make it easy to maneuver. From a comfortable and efficient commuter to an engaging hot hatch, this VW changes its nature in a moment. It's so easy to live with the GTI, even easier once you realize that the price starts just above $33,000. In our dictionary, Honda Accord is the other word for a family sedan excellence. The iconic model has been around for decades in numerous iterations, but it managed not just to retain the quality for all these years, but to become better after every redesign. These small steps, rather than revolutionary changes, were made to perfection. Today, this 4-door midsize sedan doesn't have a weak spot. It is comfortable, fun to drive, efficient, and incredibly well built. The only thing we miss from the previous generation is that peppy 2.0-liter Turbo 4. Unfortunately, such a capable Accord is not available anymore, and that's the only reason why it didn't end at number 1 on our list. Still, the current offer is more than adequate, as there is a choice between a decently capable 1.5-liter Turbo 4 and a very efficient and refined hybrid powertrain. Also, the Accord is still reasonably priced, with the entry-level models going around $29,000. Whether you prefer the stiffness of Cayman's coupe layout or the open roof experience from the Boxster, the Porsche 718 is arguably the best sports car you can buy. In our humble opinion, it definitely is a benchmark when it comes to sports cars, mainly because of its mid-engine layout, which offers the chassis balance no front-engine competitor can match. Along with excellent weight distribution, the 718 features surgically precise steering and handling, which, along with lightweight construction, ensures an incomparable driving experience. The offer starts with a couple of turbo flat 4 units, but the real deal comes with the naturally aspirated 4-liter flat 6, Porsche's Jewel, that puts out up to nearly 500 horsepower and revs all the way up to 9,000 RPMs. A 6-speed manual is standard, but you can also opt for a 7-speed dual-clutch gearbox. Both are excellent and contribute to the overall impression that there is no other sports car that connects the driver with the road in such a nice fashion. But despite the completely analog driving experience, the 718 remains easy to live with, a decent daily driver which only adds to the car's overall quality. The Civic earns the number 1 position on our list for many reasons. Of course, value for money is one of them, but we think that the best thing about the Civic is its multifaceted nature. Practically, there's a Civic for everyone, whether you need a daily commuter or an enthusiast sports car. All that is followed by Honda's typical qualities, starting from excellent build quality, precise engineering, and overall practicality and functionality. Buyers have a choice between a 4-door sedan and a 5-door hatchback. The offer starts with a 2.0-liter naturally aspirated inline-4, the legendary K20 engine that doesn't impress with performance but will probably run forever. Then there's the 1.5-liter Turbo 4, available in a few variants, with the most capable one delivering 200 horsepower in the SI trim, with quite an impressive level of athleticism. Fuel efficiency-minded buyers will be glad to hear that the hybrid is coming next year. Finally, there's the Type R, the ultimate hot hatch and the fastest front-wheel drive car in the world. Do you agree with our list? Let us know in the comments and don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for watching and see you next time.